And we are live, 2020, and we're on the Archie Luxury flagship channel. This is the Archie Luxury channel, and today, guys, it's we're in the middle of COVID. We're in the middle of COVID, and I gotta tell you, I thought the best thing I could do is have a talk to another massive traveler, IrixGuy. Hello, Irix.
Archie, thanks for having me aboard, man. Yeah, it's tough times for travel, without a doubt. It's
Now, for those people who don't know, IrixGuy is the cruise, the Caribbean guy. He is your guy for travel tips and travel advice. You're a drone fanatic. You are a cruise fanatic. IrixGuy had a viral video, how to drink cheaply on a cruise ship, wasn't it? What was the title?
Yeah, how to drink cheap on a cruise ship.
I'll actually link that in the corner. I'm not sure which corner it'll be, but the little question mark, I will link to that video, IrixGuy.
Sounds good.
And so I'll just make a note of that. I got a link to that because I forget these things. So that's drink cheap. Drink cheap. I'll put a link there. IrixGuy, I'm very famous. I've been on an aeroplane overseas probably since 2014. That's when I went full-time on YouTube. I've been on a plane to Asia, in the Asia Pacific region, probably about 30, 40 times. Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand. I've been to Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, New Zealand, Fiji. I've been everywhere in the Asia Pacific region. You, of course, where do you mainly cruise? Where were you cruising? What's your guy?
I prefer the Eastern Caribbean, so places that I frequent: the United States, USVI, the United States Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John.
Yep.
The British Virgin Islands, Tortola, Peter Island, Virgin Gorda.
Yep.
And let's see, then I go over to St. Kitts. The British.
How many cruises were you doing?
Well, surprisingly, I've only done 2 cruises.
Okay.
And that was just more of as a travel tip, do the cruises, and then that way you can kind of get a quick abbreviated tour of all the islands.
And I don't know if you know this, but that cruise you went on, because your IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, that was a complete tax deduction for you, wasn't it?
Well, and that was before I was a YouTuber. It was actually the cruise that put me onto YouTube, because YouTube invited me because they saw my how to drink cheap. They actually. So I had 2 videos. I had how to drink cheap on a cruise ship, and then I had another one that was just a cruise ship review of a Carnival. Carnival's a pretty budget friendly cruise line.
Yep.
And,
hey, just before we go on there, man, I noticed I'm not even wearing a watch because I was cleaning my room.
Oh, no.
Watching Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is a Canadian clinical psychologist. And what he says is, if you want to improve your life, what can you do to improve your life? He says, clean your room! Clean your room! So I have actually been trying to clean up the mess. Okay, I'm trying to spend an hour a day cleaning my room, and I took my watch off. I'm going to put on my JJ. Can we have a JJ LeCoute?
JJ LeCoute.
JJ LeCoute. I'm going to put my reverso, and you are sporting a very beautiful, one of my favorite watches, the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 2 with the blue. That's the 42?
Yep, 42 blue.
I think the 46 was too big.
Yeah, 46 was too big. Now the 44 was palatable.
44, that's the new release. That was a bit later. What did you think of that?
Well, I was actually torn between the 44 and the 42, but the 42, I think
that's enough. That's big enough. The problem with Breitling, too big. Tell me this, IrixGuy, how bad is it for you with this travel? How bad is it? Because you love to travel. How bad is it? Tell me this. How bad is it for you?
It's prompted me to pivot completely, because I was on a cycle where at least once or twice a year I was on the beach somewhere in the Caribbean, in the Eastern Caribbean. And because of this, I haven't been to any of the islands in 2020. and it's kind of setting me back because I like to, like you, I like to travel and capture
Yeah,
travel footage as a business,
exactly.
and it's
And
tough.
it's. I mean, how can you make travel videos if you're not traveling?
You don't, you just do something else, and that's why I've started the weight loss videos.
Yes, we will get. Well, actually, after this video, if we've got some time, we might even throw a weight loss video up there. I gotta tell you, seriously, IrixGuy, this time is very, very, very troubling. In my country, Australia, we've got lockdown in certain parts of my country. They've actually, you can't travel between states. They've got all restrictions. Like, if it's just a disaster. I mean, in our country, when we had federation, you don't understand this because you don't understand the historical way Australia was formed, but each state was sort of a separate country before federation. Then once federation came in, you had free travel between the states, and all of a sudden now you can't travel between states.
Ooh.
It's a disaster, and I gotta tell you, IrixGuy, it's caused a lot of relationship problems. I gotta tell you myself, I'm a bit of a swordsman. I like to have a few little ladies. I can't travel. And I tell you what, man, it's terrible. So much stuff is terrible. I'm going insane. I have the bug to travel. How's it affecting your life?
Well, I can't travel, but what I've done, I've just focused on other things. I've upgraded my YouTube studio. I've purchased
Yes.
some new equipment, and I've used the money that I would have, thrown towards traveling for other pursuits.
Yes.
So it's actually been a good thing, man, because I've really, improved things here with the lighting and the.
Sure. All I've done is clean up my studio. I haven't actually improved. All I've done is taken the rubbish out. Taken the rubbish out. Tell me this. When do you think this disaster is going to fix up? When can we? What is your opinion?
I think as soon as we get Trump back in November, I think things are going to shift. Now the question is, are things going to, what's going to happen then, or is there going to be some sort of rebellion where they're somehow going to prolong the COVID? I think the COVID virus exists. I don't doubt that. At times I
Yeah.
doubted that, but I know people that have actually had it.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to go, and I think it's going to go
I
up until
I
20.
gotta tell you, man, I'm completely. When they had the first wave went through Australia, I thought, geez, this is serious. Then we had a bit of recovery. We went out of first wave, and I thought, oh, that's good. They started opening up a bit more, and then bang, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Second wave hit us, and this has been what's really been devastating because I love going to Asia. Like, I mean, at the moment I got to get some spring bars for a paddock. I can't jump on a plane. You can't. They don't really post them to you. And I want to get content. I want to jump on a jet plane. It's just so hard. It is so hard, man. And I kind of think, I was hoping that open up, then we could travel between safe countries. Like in Asia Pacific, could be Singapore, could be Hong Kong, start to get things moving again. But I gotta tell you, man, the scary thing is now, what they've got now is you can't even travel. But this 14-day quarantine, you Americans, you guys only get 14 days a year off, don't you? How much annual leave does an American get?
Yeah, on average, 1 or 2 weeks. Well, not even that. I mean, maybe annually, someone that's lucky gets 10 days annually in the States off.
Yes.
So, like you said, and see, that's the problem with the Caribbean right now. Like St. Kitts, for example, they've got the 14-day quarantine. So even if you went, you're stuck in a hotel for 14 days. What's
Yeah.
you know?
What's the point? Exactly right. And I gotta tell you, I think in Asia Pacific, I think the other scary thing is, say I went to Singapore or Hong Kong or Thailand, which is closed, but say I managed to do that, say I caught coronavirus there, could you imagine the costs? They would quarantine me. If I needed medical attention, that could be hideously expensive. It could
what
be
would the quality of
bankrupting.
care be too? Australia's got pretty good health care, don't they?
They do, but if say I went to Singapore, I wouldn't be covered by the government
Uh,
health care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you would be getting from a communist country. It is a communist country, isn't it?
Exactly. We got a very much we're like Canada. We're
Yeah,
very similar to Canada, And I got to be honest, Ben, what would you do? Are you fearful to travel? What's the go with you?
Here's the thing, and this is no nonsense. And several people have asked me this. They're like, what would it take? Because I was looking at plane offers, one of the popular airlines, $30 round trip. I mean, it was like super low.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, how much would somebody have to pay me to fly out of the country? I mean, I wouldn't pay a dime, but how much would they have to pay me for me to assume the risk and all the uncertainties? And I mean, it would have to be an astronomical amount, man, because to your point, you get stuck outside of your own country. Who knows what could happen?
Well, that's exactly right. You get stuck outside your own country. Who knows? And your medical bills could be absolutely horrendous. What I think is, someone has said this. Tell me what you think. Travel will never be the same. Agreed or disagreed?
I disagree. I think that it'll. I think it. Well, I disagree, and I kind of. So here's my answer. So I disagree from the perspective. I think it will be the same, but because of what we've experienced in 2020, I think that it'll be more appreciated. So once this virus clears, travel will be the same. People will dine out. They'll explore.
Yep. Next question: will cruise ships be scrapped?
I think a lot of them will probably be, because they won't be able to afford to. It's kind of like an airplane with empty seats. You got too many airplanes. Same with the ships. You're going to have too many ships. They're going to have to scrap some of them. They're not going to be able to fill the rooms.
Yes. I got to tell you, IrixGuy myself, I think this is the end of travel as we know it. What I think is going to happen, I tell you, I really think the low-cost travel that we've enjoyed for the last 20 years is over. It's over, Red Rover. I'm predicting you will never travel cheaply again. That's what I'm predicting. I'm sorry.
Cheaply is important, because if we can't travel cheaply, then what's the point?
Exactly right. I mean, the super rich can still travel because they got their private jet. They could jump on a jet. They could fly somewhere, quarantine in a fancy-wancy hotel, and that they've got connections and things like that. But it's the middle class, the lower middle class that we belong to, who I've got a feeling it's just not happening. And the funny thing is, there are some people. Like, I do a live show with Clive. He's never been to New York, for example.
Wow.
He's never been to, I don't think he's been to California, San Fran either. He hasn't been to San Francisco. Which I just find ludicrous, because if you're in America, man, I'd want to go to New York. I'd want to go to San Francisco. I'd want to go to California. I'd want to go all these key sort of places, man. But, you've been to New York, have you, IrixGuy?
Oh yeah, man. I've been a few times. The food up there is wonderful. It's a great place to eat.
It was wonderful. That is a city which is absolutely devastated. Absolutely devastated. And IrixGuy, tell me this: are people still watching your travel videos?
Well, actually, that's one area where I've seen a boost, and I think it's because people can't travel right now, that they're watching the videos just to kind of plan for the future and give themselves hope.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Tell me this: when do you predict we'll be able to travel freely again? What's your prediction?
Well, technically, in the United States, you can travel freely now. However, I wouldn't do it.
But do you have free travel between the states?
Yeah, free travel in the United States. You can go state to state, no problem. There for a while, in the peak of all of this, they limited travel between states. But now, I mean, you can get in a car and go anywhere. You can get
Okay,
a plane and go anywhere.
are the airports busy now? Is it back to normal in America, airport wise?
Apparently, they require people to wear a mask on the plane while they're flying. So I don't know. I'm staying away from it, man. I don't want to get in the crowded area.
Are the planes empty?
Uh, Apparently, they're supposed to leave. I think they've got to leave a seat or so between the passengers.
So that must mean the prices must be higher then, is it? To pay for that?
I haven't even checked.
No.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, man, I mean,
You're not even interested.
yeah, you couldn't pay me enough right now to get on an airplane or to get in a bus or a subway or a cruise ship or anything like that. The only travel I'll be doing is just driving around. So,
yes.
You're kind of limited, but in the United States, you can drive to Canada.
I see. Tell me this. Have you ever experienced anything like this in your life?
Never have, and hopefully hope to never do it again. Have you?
Well, I was in Asia when they had bird flu, swine flu, all that sort of stuff, early 2000s.
I remember that.
And that was kind of, yeah, this is the same sort of thing. But this is so much more serious because bird flu, swine flu, you actually had to have sort of closer contact. This is airborne,
Yeah.
you know? And tell me this, do you believe this is a bioweapon being played with by the Chinese that accidentally got out?
Well, obviously.
Or do you believe the wet market, it came from animals? What story do you think is the truth?
I think it's been created in a lab somewhere. That's my personal opinion.
I see. You
What do you
believe
think?
it's a bioweapon that got out of hand. I tend to agree with you. I think this, because the thing is the Chinese, I tell you what, the Chinese, they're really hurting Australia. Because we sort of, Australian government has sort of made calls to say, hey, how did this, let's investigate where it came from so it doesn't happen again. And they've taken it very, very badly.
Well, and the other
Very badly, IrixGuy.
other angle too is that a lot of people assume it may have originated in the lab there. It may have been somewhere else, and it could have been around, many weeks, many months prior to when it was officially communicated that it had,
Of course.
that it had been released. So I mean, there's so many unknowns.
Yeah.
But I bet if it was created in a lab, there's probably an antidote, and they're just waiting for the person to pay the most.
Tell me this, IrixGuy, how soon would you jump on a plane?
Well, I can't even say. I mean, until this virus goes away. I mean, there's no amount of money that you could pay me to fly on an airplane right now. There's no amount of money. So until this virus goes away, I'm not going to risk, man. I mean, it's not worth risk reward. I can do other things until travel's safe again.
Sure, like make videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be inclined to do any local, like American travel? Has that inspired you to do other sort of travel? Maybe that could be the answer.
Yeah, being in Georgia in the southeastern United States, that's one of the southern states, Georgia. There's a lot of stuff close by. You can go to the Appalachian Mountains. I do a lot of backpacking, so backpacking videos are good in Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains National Park. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's huge.
I want to go to Yellowstone National Park where Yogi Bear lives.
And so you could drive to Yellowstone and see Yogi Bear too. I mean, that's anything out there. And then you got New York City. You got you can go to Miami. You can go to Key West. Hey, those are the islands. You can drive to them. Key West, Florida.
Yeah, no, that sounds good there. Let's open up Super Chat now, guys. Let's ask IrixGuy any travel-related question. Ask IrixGuy. Just Super Chat, money now, and you can ask IrixGuy anything you want.
So are
Come on,
we
guys? Super
4%?
chat. Yeah, I think that was a good video actually there. You know, I tell you honestly, the travel, I think it's dead. I'm sorry. I honestly think a lot of these low-cost carriers will go guts up. It'll be over. It will be over. It's all over, Red Rover. It's over. It's toast. The budget airlines will fold. I think the airlines will have to have government intervention, otherwise they will all collapse. And basically, I think a trip to Bangkok will become a $2,500 ticket. That's what'll happen. I reckon prices will go 3 to 4 times higher than they currently are. That's what'll happen, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not polite or nice to say. It's over. Luxury, cheap travel is over. It's all over, Red Rover. It's gone. Gonski. It's gone. It's gone. It's over, man. Cheap, affordable travel, over. Over. Budget airlines will collapse. You will see everything will explode in price. Man, it's all over. It's all over. Here we go. $3 from Bud the Stud. Bud the Stud. Here we go. Irix, does it stink to be a bulldog? Gator bait.
Yeah, it does. But I tell you, I like to cook some gator.
There we go. Thank you so much. Okay, that's been a... Yep, give it a go. Give it a squirt, IrixGuy.
There we go.
Very, very well done, IrixGuy. Okay, guys, we will see you in the next one. Just hang on there, IrixGuy. Thank you. And check out IrixGuy's channel, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. Put a link in the description. Check it out. Check it out. And tell me what you guys think of that.